Good morning, everybody. Um, I had something on my mind. It kind of carried over from Sunday. There was an incident, and not a bad incident, but it's kind of a teachable moment. I understand that we live in a world, and we have to make sure that there is inclusivity, but there are still situations where there are, even in this state, where there are sundown towns. Uh, this administration, not this administration, because that's one of the things that I wanted to say as well. We have had Republican presidents before. It's not so much that the incoming leader of the free world is a Republican. It's his mindset, it's his character, it's things that he has done in the past that are concerning. And even more so than that is the fact that there are people who feel the same way and feel even more emboldened to say out loud how they feel. Um, um, the incident that happened was kind of a innocent thing. I was talking to a young girl about some of the dolls that she had. And I kind of got excited about the dolls because I had been looking at the dolls and I recognized them. So I asked her what the name of the dolls were. So, in me asking her what the name of the dolls were, um, she said the name of the dolls. And I remember that particular set of dolls were very inclusive in every nationality. And she had two of them out, but then she said, I have another one. And I was like, oh, okay, let me see that one as well. And so she asked me, did I want to see it? I was like, yeah, I want to see it. So when she went and got it, the hue on the doll was uh, where I wasn't sure. And so I said, well, what's the nationality of this one? And she kind of got quiet. And Dad chimed in and said, I don't see where that matters. So I realized that I had struck a nerve with Dad. And I got quiet. I just, sometimes you just need to keep your mouth closed. I'm learning that more and more and more. And so after we left, I told my friend, I said, I didn't mean anything by it. And she said, I know. So, but the more I thought about it, it really does matter, because there needs to be inclusivity, not just for our black kids and our nation. Depends on everybody. We're finding those things out that we didn't know before, that they had to depend on Native Americans to have certain codes in different wars and stuff in order to defeat the enemy. We're finding out about, like, the movie Hidden Figures, where, even though they had all these people who did jobs, but it took a black woman or many black women to do something in order for there to be success in launching a rocket uh, into space, you know, in order for that to actually happen. She did the mathematics. What we're finding out is that there are a lot of times when we're not included in situations. There are a lot of times when we are included, but somehow still there is a difference made. What really popped up in my spirit this morning was a situation when my daughter was at Oakthorpe. And I really got kind of emotional about it when I thought about it. She and her friends went to a lake house with one of her good friends from school. And they were having a good time. They did have some issues with some man that was harassing them because they were black. He was making different comments to the black girls. Also, later, which I wish she had told me earlier, but if she had told me, I think she didn't know. But I found out after she had come back from the lake house trip that she had gone to the lake house, and her friend, who was a young white girl, her parents weren't really feeling the fact that she had black friends, I don't believe, because it was a conversation over the phone that she talked about, and she was like, well, what Dad said a couple of things, So you may not feel like there should okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you need to be aware, even though you want your kids to just, seamlessly be in a place and feel welcomed and everything. It's been too many situations where kids have trusted their friends, not just kids, adults, period, have trusted their friends, gone to a space, and those people of color have not returned. They trusted their friends, which, if somebody is supposed to be your friend, you should be able to trust that person. A lot of times what happens is people trust that friend, but they have friends that shouldn't be trusted to not be straight up racist, to be discriminatory, to say things, to do things purposefully because they do not respect people of color. And to me, I understand it should be a world where that doesn't matter. I heard of this story not too long ago, maybe I think it was last week, where these families, a Latino family and a white family, I forget what state it was, they had been socializing, and their kids had been socializing for years. The kids were playing together for years. And then somehow after this election, this white family told their children that they were no longer able to socialize with the Latino family. As black people, that has been a norm for many, many years. I think there's a fear that they don't want a race mixing, and that there's a fear of not their friends, but they're going to grow up, and then there may be a attraction um, that they feel is unnatural. But um, what we do know is there is only one race, and that's the human race. That's the human race. There should not be a difference made, but there is, and our kids need to be aware, not to be fearful, but to be mindful that you may just see people as people, but not everybody feels that same way. Some people see certain people as less than, and that's just the reality. I didn't mean anything by it when I said, I asked the young lady what nationality that particular doll was. I was excited about the fact that there was inclusivity in that set of dolls. I thought it was really, really cute, and I was considering those dolls as gifts. So that was just a connection that me and the child had made. But Dad, and I don't know what he's been through. So, and he may be trying to just live life. You never know what people are going through or what they have gone through. He may just be trying to live life and make it easier for his children to live so-called normal, which there's never been such a thing as normal life, and just be able to thrive. I can see you want your children, you want your children to be able to thrive, but you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of everything. When my daughter told me about that situation and she overheard the conversation, her friend was not prejudiced, and her friend invited her to this lake house, and they were having fun on the beach and everything. And but to hear a conversation that you're somewhere and the person who owns that property don't want you and your kind to be there. Love should be enough. Love should be enough, but unfortunately, there are always going to be some people that don't feel that way. Imagine you're a grown woman going to a sleepover, an adult sleepover, and somehow, some way, you end up on the ground in the back of the house in an unnatural way. Her body wasn't even positioned in the way that if she had fell from that main floor to the basement floor, to the ground floor, her body wasn't even positioned in the natural way of if she had failed. So that means that somebody did something to her purposely. Her friend invited her to that adult sleepover, but she was the only black woman there. Young man gone to a Halloween party. Come to find out the Halloween party is that his friends invited him to was a party at a man who was a known racist. Young man should have used more independent decision making, but I guess he didn't want to hurt his friend's feelings. But he ended up being harmed in that situation because he didn't say to them, "Hey, I'm not going to this dude's house." We know who he is. Why is this party here? We just need to make sure that even though our kids are, all going to school together, all everybody's working together, everybody's living in the same communities, that we're aware that everybody may not feel the way that your friend feels, that you feel about people. Some people uh, hate is their energy drink. So, like I said, I didn't mean anything by it, but I think it was a teachable moment. I don't know how the young girl received what went down. I don't know if she picked it up, but I pray that them as a family are able to just go through life and just, and I understand that we as a people have always had a knack of being able to just kind of go with the flow regardless of where it is that we live, where it is that we go to school. You know, we've even though it's been tough, even though it's been tough throughout the years, we've always been able to just make friends and be okay. But I do think there is an importance in there being inclusivity, and that there is an awareness. So that's all I wanted to say this morning. I have a blessed morning. Give God the glory in all that you do. I was going to start talking about something else, but I'm going to wait till God releases me to say it. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed.